Hello and welcome back to another episode of Strictly Between Us, where we talk all things Strictly Come Dancing. Now, what an exciting week it was on Strictly last weekend. I mean, there were dances, obviously, but they were just amazing, and I feel like we're so far in the competition now that everyone is just pulling out all the stops.
Yeah, we're at that stage of the competition where everyone's amazing, and it's so great to see everyone sort of like hitting those 30s and above. It's anybody's guess now as to who's going to get through to the final. It's so good that it's not sort of like a one-man race at the moment.
And I think we have to talk about some of the sadder moments on Strictly last weekend. Of course, we saw Leighton Williams and Nigel Harman at the bottom of the leaderboard. Now, I think that's quite new territory for Leighton. You know, he's been in either first or second place since the very beginning. And so to see him in the bottom and in the dance-off, wow, I was shocked.
Yeah, he found himself in that sort of danger zone, like sort of third from the bottom, and he really had to rely on the public vote to get through. And I don't know if there was an element of, we all just thought he'd get through because he's been so amazing the last few weeks. I feel like the judges were really critical of him last week as well, rightly or wrongly so. Like, he is such an amazing performer. We have seen him perform at the top of his game week after week, but the judges are obviously seeing something that like I'm not seeing sat at home, but like he obviously needs to get a bit more of the technical abilities in, apparently. So yeah, I think if he comes, I think this is going to be the kick that he needs, and he's going to come back next week. I think he's going to be like at the very top of his game next week.
And of course, on the other side of the dance-off was Angela Scanlon. Now, as we said last week, we were never going to be able to guess who would find themselves in the dance-off and, of course, who would leave the show. But unfortunately, she scored 31 points and it meant her time on the show was up.
I feel like it was the curse of the cha-cha-cha. I mean, it's such a tough dance. And like I always say, like you want to get that dance in the first few weeks. So you can just get it out of the way and then you don't have to think about it. And I thought actually she did a fantastic job. She still scored like above 30. So, I mean, everyone's just amazing at the moment. And you compare a cha-cha to something like Leighton's American Smooth, it just didn't suit her as much. But I feel like if she had a different dance, she would still be in the competition.
Absolutely. And of course, when she was eliminated from the show, she posted on social media that she thought her time on Strictly was cut short. Do you agree at all?
I agree. Her time was cut short because she got the cha-cha-cha, that damn cha-cha-cha.
Well, let's move on to some of the positives of Strictly Come Dancing last weekend. We saw a really heartwarming tribute from Bobby Brazier to his late mum, and you know, I was in tears, the judges were in tears, and he found himself second on the leaderboard. And I think it really shows that when you put all of that emotion into some of your dances, you know, you'll see the benefits.
It was such a beautiful tribute and such a beautiful dance. I thought he nailed it as well. Like, he was so good at the contemporary style. You could really see the emotion from both of them actually, and it meant so much to them. So I'm so pleased that he got second of the leaderboard for that dance. It really felt right that he scored really well for that.
And while we're talking of high scores, Annabelle Croft received her first 10 of the series.
Yay.
Thank you, Anton.
Yes.
You know, we've not really spoken about Annabelle loads on this show before. And I think it's because she's kind of found herself in the middle of the leaderboard, and, you know, she's not really had that wow factor. But this week she proved us wrong.
She absolutely has. I feel like she is the dark horse of the competition. Like, watch out, everyone. Like, Annabelle is here to stay. She's really giving the rest of them a run for their money. Like, getting the 10s, getting the 8s, getting the 9s. I mean, she could be a contender.
Absolutely. And as it is Strictly Come Dancing, anything could happen.
Yeah, I love that when you really don't know which way it's going to go at this stage. It makes it so much more exciting.
And of course, there are just a few celebrities left in the competition, and now it's the semi-finals. But more importantly, it's musicals week, which I just think is the perfect theme for the semi-finals. And, you know, we were discussing before that this plays up to a lot of the strengths of the celebrities, including those that have a musical theatre background.
Yeah, totally. I think we're in for a treat this weekend. You've got Nigel that's kind of done theatre before. I think it's going to really sort of lean into his talent. So I can't wait to see him. And obviously Leighton, we know how much of a performer he is. I think it's going to be outstanding what he comes out and does, especially having got that extra bit of fire in his belly from being in the dance-off. So I think we are in for a real treat this weekend.
Absolutely. I'm predicting that we could see a couple of 40s on our hands.
Oh,
Craig, bring the 10 paddle out, please.
Just bring it with you. See how you feel.
Well, Bobby Brazier will be dancing to The Time of Our Lives from Dirty Dancing. Now, while that seems like a completely beautiful dance, I've got one critique Dirty Dancing isn't a musical. It's just a movie that's got some songs in, and I feel really strongly about it.
I feel like you have every right to feel strongly about that. And it gets wheeled out every single year for Musical Week. And the one that's always ingrained in my brain is Pasha and Ashley Roberts. They did such an amazing musical week to that dance. So is he going to be as good as they are? Like, I feel like that's the other thing, you always compare to previous years. So maybe they need to mix it up next year. Stop using movies with songs.
Well, elsewhere in the songs and dances are performances to Wicked, Beauty and the Beast. Leighton will be performing a number to Moulin Rouge, the musical, and I just know he's got that fire in him to get that 40.
Totally. I think everyone's going to be vying for top spot this week. I think everyone loves a theme as well. Like, everyone wants to be top spot at Halloween, movie week, and now musicals.
And I'm really sure there's going to be some outstanding costumes this weekend. Like, as you said, with Halloween and movie week, they pull out all the stops, and I'm really excited to see what they're going to have on.
You've got such a plethora of musicals as well to really like dig into. Like, you've got Wicked. Like, are we going to see an Elphaba? I want to see it.
Annabelle Croft as Elphaba.
I want it.
Well, if you have any thoughts on this weekend's or last weekend's Strictly Come Dancing, don't forget to share your thoughts on X at Radio Times.